Who's got groovy roller skates, cute pigtails, and a set of rock-hard inner thighs? That's right, it's Suzanne Summers with the exercise craze that's sweeping the nation.
I used to do aerobics till I dropped, then I found Thigh Master.
Also, though not as exciting, it's Nezha. And while I'm not quite sure what mods are being used in Suzanne Summers nowadays, I do have a build for Nezha that makes him nigh unkillable and immune to status effects, so you can squeeze your way to shapely hips and thighs without interruption. This is Hardcore Fitness. Okwat Tanzinwan, my people, and welcome to the Hardcore Endgame build guide for Nezha. And let me extend a special welcome to all the employees at Digital Extremes who are now part of our growing community. When I read the patch notes and saw you were nerfing the exact farming method I'd created for my viewers, I couldn't help but be flattered. For everyone else, you had 11 days before the cops showed up, so I hope you made the most of it.
You stop laughing right now.
Yes.
Now, I'm gonna have to give you a ticket on this.
But
No buts, Meow. That's the law. Not so funny now, is it?
One other quick note, if I may. I now have my Tweeter up and running, and I'll be posting new content alerts there, as well as any sarcastic Warframe-related quips I may have stirring within my dome. Do the thing where you follow stuff, I don't know. Back to Nezha, and I want to jump straight into the build requirements. You'll need a Nezha Prime, obviously, which can be acquired via the associated Void Relics. You'll also need an Arcane Reactor and 4 total Forma. 2 regular, 1 Aura, and 1 Umbra. Technically, you can get away with using 2 more regular Forma instead of the Umbra Forma, but Nezha is such a fantastic all-rounder frame that he's absolutely worth the investment.
I recommend it and use it.
See? Even Dr. Gould agrees. As is usually the case with my builds, the Arcanes I use are helpful but not mandatory, and though I've slapped Rhino's Roar onto Nezha via Helminth, it's one of a handful of good options, including no Helminth swap at all. So what does all this get you? Well, with Nezha you get...
you're gonna get 3 people. You're gonna get an agent, a mother, a father, a shoulder to cry on.
Now that's actually incorrect. What you get is immortality, status immunity, single target blow-up, mass CC, and movement speed. Immortality comes from Nezha's 3, Warding Halo. Activating the ability starts a short duration where he's completely invulnerable. All incoming damage during this period is stored, multiplied, and then given to Nezha as a damage reduction shield. The shield amount is shown on the ability icon in the bottom right of the screen, and while it's active, 90% of incoming damage is diverted to that shield, while only 10% hits Nezha. Warding Halo also provides Nezha with complete status immunity while active, which means you can go nuts with those new OP blast radius weapons, like the Kuvazar or Spore Lacer Kick Gun, and never worry about getting self-staggered. Nezha's 1, Firewalker, also helps with zooming through missions, as it gives a 25% movement speed buff, while also leaving a trail of flames. The flames provide decent CC and a bit of damage to enemies caught in them, but also grant status immunity to allies touching the trail. The single target blow-up I talked about comes from his 2, Blazing Chakram. Nezha takes the big ring off his back and chucks it glaive style. Enemies it hits take a bit of damage and are set on fire, but also become debuffed, causing any damage they take to be increased by your total power strength. This is what makes Nezha a competent sister and Lich killer, since the debuff isn't part of their damage reduction formula. Sure, Banshee has a much more potent debuff, but Nezha is infinitely tankier, and he fits in your old jeans.
I thought I'd never fit into these jeans again. Thank you, Thigh Master.
Making him a solid alternative. Divine Spears, Nezha's 4, is where his mass CC comes from. He summons spears from just beneath enemies near him, impaling and disabling them. In a balanced build, this can provide excellent area control, but in this build we're tanking range, so it becomes kinda useless. As such, I've replaced Divine Spears with Rhino's Roar via Helminth. Since we're going all in on power strength, Roar more than doubles all of our outgoing damage, and even with our pitiful range, we can still share it with allies if we get right next to them when casting it. Some other great options include Valkyr's Warcry for a melee-focused playstyle, Helminth's own Infested Mobility for even faster speedrunning of content, and Ureli's Aquablades if you enjoy waltzing through low to mid-level content applying slash procs to everything you pass by. Now let's take a look at the build. As I just mentioned, we go all in on power strength, with Power Drift in the Excellent slot, Augur Secrets, Blind Rage, Transient Fortitude, and Umbral Intensify. We get another 11% by slotting in Umbral Fiber and boosting that set bonus. Not only does that armor provide direct damage reduction, but it's also used in calculating the DR shield we get from warding Halo. Streamline is needed to keep our energy costs somewhat in check, but we also need the expanded energy pool from Primed Flow to be sure we never run out. Narrow-minded is the best option for the D polarity that Nezha Prime comes with, as it more than makes up for the negative duration from Transient Fortitude, and only costs some range, which we don't care about anyway. If you wanted to keep and use Divine Spears in this setup, you could form this slot to a V polarity, and then replace Narrow-minded with Prime Continuity. As I said, Roar isn't an essential part of the build, so do whatever keeps your turtle fertile, unless you're prepubertal. And finally, I'm using Steel Charge, mostly for the additional mod capacity it brings, but also because I enjoy using melee with Nezha. You'll need to forma a slot either way, and I'd rather use an aura forma to make that slot more flexible than forma a regular slot and make it less flexible. With this setup, Nezha really becomes one of those no-brainer frames. You kind of just drop into any mission and either solo it no problem, or become a great teammate. So what are you waiting for? Call now!
To order your Thigh Master, call 1-800-247-3000. Have your credit card ready or send check or money order for $19.95 plus $4.50 for shipping and handling to this address. No CODs, please. If you're not fully satisfied, return it in 30 days for your money back. Plus, if you call right now, we'll also send you Suzanne's Slender for Life plan absolutely free. Thigh Master is not available in stores, so act right now.